What am I doing?
This is Starfox reports. Emergency, emergency, pew pew pew. This is Cornelia? This is horrible.
We're entering Cornelia City now. This is horrible.
Do a barrel roll. Okay, hi there, I'm Austin's Animals, collecting all things furry. And I'm playing with my Starfox toys. Today, we're flying across the Lilat system to the planet of Saria, home of the dinosaur tribes, magic, and beautiful bikini-clad vixens.
Wow, she's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm one of those kids that grew up with Starfox, and it had a profound effect on who I am. I may have a small obsession with Krystal, the Amazonian warrior who gets captured in the game. The majority of the game doesn't even include her, but the game is just so damn difficult that, as a kid, I just ended up playing the first half of the game more than anything else. I even remember using Action Replay. That was like a service used to hack and homebrew your Nintendo GameCube console. Yeah, this was actually sold at GameStop in the early 2000s, just a straight-up hacking device. I would use cheat codes to no-clip out of bounds as Krystal, convinced that there was some way to avoid her being captured and thus being playable for the rest of the game. But even if she is frozen for the entire game, she's a very memorable character in furry subculture. I'd go as far as to say that Krystal, at one point in time, was the sole character the average normie nerd thought of when the phrase furry was muttered. You couldn't browse a single internet gaming forum without someone mentioning how smoking hot Krystal was, before someone responds and calls you a furry, or helps you come out as furry, whatever. Krystal really was a furry awakening for many, including me, and while controversial at the time for being a scantily clad damsel in distress, Krystal and all of Starfox eventually learned to embrace its furry stigma. And today, I think Krystal is seen as a highly influential piece of furry media. Heck, the modern fursuits are colorful shades of blue and purple, colors you don't even see on real animals, and those large anime eyes that are the fursuit norm. Even on more Western-styled fursuits, you see the big anime eyes, mine included. You can thank Krystal for a lot of inspiration in the world of furry. She and all of Starfox are at furry ground zero. And being popular characters owned by a billion-dollar corporation, I thought there'd be at least something Krystal to collect. Unfortunately, there isn't. Besides this one pre-order promo that came from Circuit City of all places, Krystal is featured on a bottle of Jones soda. There she is, she's kind of that blue dot. Wow, Jones Soda of Starfox Adventures with Krystal on it. You could only get from Circuit City. That is the most 2002 thing ever. I mean, who remembers Jones Soda? This was like the soda drink of the early 2000s. You're drinking your Jones Soda, your Shrek pizza rolls are in the oven, you're playing Tony Hawk because you're so frustrated you can't beat Starfox Adventures. You can't save Krystal to get one look at that fine vixen because this game's so friggin' frustrating and impossible. I'm going on a tangent here. Into the Starfox Adventures Player's Guide. Hey, it's something to talk about and own, and it has Krystal on it. If you were born after 2004, you likely don't even know what a player's guide is, which is sad and makes me feel old. But before the internet was easily accessible, this was how you get your game facts. Starfox Adventures is a frickin' hard game, like really, really frickin' hard. So buying a player's guide was an essential part of the experience. There were even other guides made for this impossible game, riddled with collectibles, like other companies releasing these guides to make a quick buck. But today, we're going to be looking at the official guide that Nintendo themselves published in-house. Not only is this the most accurate and thorough guide to the game, but being by Nintendo, it actually contains a lot of cool supplemental material. This isn't a gaming channel, so I won't bore you with all the maps showing you where all 10,000 collectibles are, but they are pretty cool and neat. Instead, we're going to look at all the official artwork and lore. Our opening page contains a beautiful render of Krystal being chased by the Tyrannosaurus Rex. This scene was cut for the final game, and this is going to be a running theme you see as Starfox Adventures had a disastrous development. That's a long story for another time, but the simple story is that Xbox bought the studio that was making the game, so the game had to be completed before the sale went through, otherwise Starfox would end up on Xbox. So the game physically hit retail shelves exactly 24 hours before the sale was completed. Well done, Nintendo. So pop open our book, and in the table of contents we have a very nice group shot of our large Starfox cast of characters. Yeah, furries and dinosaurs. And here we have Meet the Team with some fun character descriptions. It reads, unlike Dinosaur Planet, the Starfox team sticks together. 8 years after their triumph over space tyrant Andros, all the members of the Great Fox, with the exception of the lone eagle Falco Lombardi, are still roaming the Lilat system, looking for adventures and an honest day's pay. While Fox McCloud may do all of the legwork and get most of the glory, the rest of the team offers information, support, and a lot of useful tools. So yeah, this is a pretty boilerplate description of Starfox Adventures. I like that it mentions Star Fox 64 and Andros because that does kind of set up the end of this game, in which, spoiler alert, Andros returns, which, if you've played the game itself, offers no explanation. So if you've played the game and you're confused why the end of the game an evil monkey man shows up, that's why, because they fought him in the last game. But there was no explanation. It also explains that Falco left the Starfox team, which was something that happened in the Starfox comic book. So from here, let's move on to some of the individual character descriptions, starting with our hero, Fox McCloud. Starfox team leader Fox McCloud has spent so much time behind the controls of his all-wing fighter, it's hard for him to imagine conflict resolution without a laser blaster and turbo speed, but he'll have to find more creative solutions to the problems on Dinosaur Planet. And it talks about how Fox now has to use melee combat. Now, in the original cut of the game, there was a much better explanation on why Fox doesn't have his gun. It's kind of annoying how they do it in the game by basically saying he's on a diplomatic mission.
I bring my blaster.
It's always the same with you, Fox. Shoot first, ask questions later.
In the original cut, Fox is already a melee fighter, as he uses the sword he has in the comic books, having become a Royal Knight of the Lilat system.
Scaleface, pick on someone your own size. What? Who's that? I am Fox McCloud, Royal Knight of the Lilat system. I've come to take the prince back to his home.
Why they cut this scene that flawlessly explains the backstory and ties the game into the other Starfox games is completely beyond me. Moving on, let's learn about the lovely Krystal. She's not officially part of the Starfox team, but Krystal does share the team's interest in seeing General Scales and his Sharpclaw army go down in flames, roaming the galaxy in shorts of information about the demise of her home planet and family. What the heck? Krystal has been drawn into the fray after answering a distress call from Dinosaur Planet. Following a short adventure, Krystal is in need of assistance too. Oh yeah, assistance. She's like helplessly trapped forever. It's a little bit of assistance she needs. What is this description? In search of her home planet and family? None of that is ever mentioned in the Starfox games. I have no clue. They're pulling this out of their butt. Unless, does this have to do with the original cut again? So the original cut of this game, by the way, is amazing. Like, if you haven't watched it on YouTube, just look up the cutscenes. It's a really, really good game. But in that version, Krystal is being, taught by a wizard as, an apprentice. She's kind of like Bianca from the Spyro games. She's learning magic from this weird old dude, who is later revealed to be, a relative of Fox McCloud. Fox McCloud's uncle.
This is my spell book. General Scales tore out most of the pages and cast them into the... Dross took his father. I blamed myself. If only I could have gone with the Starfox team. I always suspected Pigma was a traitor.
Don't worry. He doesn't blame you for what happened.
He is a good son. I have yet to see him to apologize.
When this is over, we shall all be reunited.
Hey y'all, this is Austin in post-production with an editor's note. I was looking through some pre-release content for Starfox Adventures, and I found that the original ending of the game did indeed explore Krystal looking for her parents, the subplot seemingly not mentioned. There is no footage of this, only cut dialogue, so I'll just have to loop the other deleted scene with the dialogue. This would have been at the tail end of the game, when Krystal and Fox team up to fight an evil space god. Amazing, huh?
Be reunited. I'll never forget the time you found me. It was the night of my parents' death. You appeared like a guardian to protect me. I still wonder why they were killed.
Randorn, you must go. Without you, our planet will be lost. You can only save me by going home. Hurry, Randorn!
He's right, Randorn. You go. I'll stay to help him. You saved me when I was a child, and now I can repay you.
Krystal, there's something I need to tell you about your parents. I know who killed them.
I don't want to know. I don't even remember them. There is only you.
This whole theme of family, whatever it was cut. Moving on to Falco. After the Starfox team's victory over Andross, Falco Lombardi left the fold and took off for the parts unknown. He still keeps up with Fox, but it'll only appear in a cameo near the end of your adventure. Wow, way to spoil the fun, Nintendo. It's true though, he will only appear for a brief cameo near the end of the game. Wow. Let's learn about our bad guy, General Scales. He'll try to convince you he's not evil, just misunderstood. Don't believe it. Scales is pure evil, from his glaring red eyes to his tough green skin and razor-sharp claws. The General is trying to take control of the planet piece by piece, but you won't let him. Okay, what is this talking about? Try to convince you he's not evil? General Scales is like the opposite of a sorrowful villain. He is just straight up evil. He like chokes Krystal, he just slaughters dinosaurs. He pretty much says he's unabashedly evil, and he has like no backstory or explanation. No tragic villain's arc at all, like none of that is true. Were we supposed to get a tragic backstory for General Scales? Was he supposed to like see Fox for something other than 2 seconds? Oh well, let's talk dinosaurs. Do you like dinosaurs? This game has a lot of different dinosaurs and prehistoric creatures, and they all kind of often overlooked in favor of Krystal, but they are pretty cool characters too. The Thorntail tribe is like the basic dinosaurs you see in the hub world, not much to say on them. The Snowhorn tribe is the big mammoth guys in the snow level. I guess they have a bit more personality, they're kind of bland too. The High Top tribe, come to think of it, all these dinosaur tribes are incredibly bland, and it always bothered me they weren't antler, they're just like realistic dinosaurs. The Cloud Runners are at least kind of interesting. I know they were again supposed to have a big part near the end of the game, but it all got cut. The Lightfoot, I don't even remember these guys, but man, that guy is shredded. Look at those muscles. The Lightfoot tribe is like totally swole. And the Red Eye tribe, this was another cut plot point. God, I don't know why I know all this Starfox stuff. There's something wrong with me. But I know it's mentioned that they're evil because they're born with red eyes. Talk about a stigma. But you remember when you possess God in the game and you like deliver God's messages, you've got those red eyes. This tied into the original plot of the game, in which Krazoa, which is the name of the god of Dinosaur Planet, turns out to actually be evil and wants to destroy civilization, as he believes humanity, or I guess formanity in this case, has had too many wars and conflict and must thus be destroyed, and all the characters have to come to grips with the fact that God wants their destruction. Yeah, Starfox originally had the plot of frickin' Prometheus. This game thought it was so high concept, but all of this was cut. I'll play some of the remnants of this incredibly complex, convoluted storyline.
Peace is not good for this universe. It needs chaos. for it to thrive. What has happened during the past 3 billion years of peace? Nothing! With the power of the Quan Atalachu, we will bring war, death, fear, terror, and disease. This is what makes the universe alive.
Pretty interesting stuff, huh? But there's one more thing in the back of this book that's complete news to me, and that is this right here. An official Starfox Adventures t-shirt with Krystal on it. Did anyone have this shirt? Does this item exist? I'd love to know, except I don't want to know how many hundreds of dollars it goes for, because I imagine it'd go for quite a bit. It looks like it was a promo for subscribing to Nintendo Power, the Nintendo magazine. And check out that slick cover. If only oh wait, I do. I have the Starfox Adventures Nintendo Power Guide. So this is just an issue of Nintendo's magazine that featured Starfox Adventures, though it does feature its own game guide and conflicting lore. Armed with cunning instincts and the fighting spirit he displayed in Super Smash Bros. Melee, Fox McCloud jumps— wait, hold the phone. Armed with the spirit of Super Smash Bros. Melee, that's their only excuse as to why Fox now uses armed combat in this game as opposed to guns. They didn't even try to explain all that nonsense about how he can't use a gun, or it's based on the comic book where he holds a sword. They're just like, no, Super Smash Bros. Melee. Like, the editors of Nintendo Power just gave up. Why is Fox not on a ship? I don't know. He was in Super Smash Bros. That way. Anyways, because of the malicious wrongdoings of slimy General Scales, Dinosaur Planet is falling apart. After answering a distress call from inhabitants of the planet, the young heroine Krystal finds herself in the midst of a conflict. And then it just kind of gives us the basic synopsis. So this one doesn't have any mention to Krystal looking for her parents or answers about her family. This is obviously much closer to the game's release, when it was pretty clear that that storyline was not going to ship in the final product. From here we get maps, but what's curious is that these maps are different than the ones in the game guide. Pretty weird since both are by Nintendo. See, this is the same map I just showed in Nintendo Power. Why did they make 2 different maps when they could have just reused the ones from the game guide? Was the one in the game guide not close to the final game? Are they different? I have no idea. It just seems odd. Finally, we get an ad for the Starfox Adventures website, which, if you recall, was a very interactive website with kind of its own mini adventure game, where you could explore the Great Fox ship and learn about the game's lore that probably isn't in the final game. Nintendo was really trying to push websites at this point, as they were attempting to have an internet presence after not having one in the 90s. Finally, we get a review. Wow, the absolute gall of the Nintendo official magazine to review their own game. And of course they gave it a good review. Well, except for Alan here, who is brutally honest in the game being maddeningly difficult. Okay, Alan, you preach the truth. I can respect that. That game was hard. So there you have it, not one but 2 Starfox Adventures guides, the official Nintendo Power magazine and the official Nintendo Player's Guide. When I went out to make this video, I had no idea there would be this much information, and that the video would be this long or require this much editing. But Starfox Adventures is a fascinating game. It could have been one of the greatest, most ambitious science fiction titles ever made, with a dark storyline, with themes of religion, family, adventure. Unfortunately, the game had a really troubled development, and what we got, while cool, was only a fraction of the original vision. I think it's great that this official guide offers us a glimpse into the original, more ambitious Star Fox game we should have got. It's also interesting how the Nintendo Power Guide seems to strip a lot of these details, like as the game got closer to release and had a much more troubled development due to the Microsoft buyout, they knew the game wasn't going to contain all this information. So, that's all I have to say today on the Starfox Adventures guides. Thanks for watching, and to close it off, let's look at some of the cool and beautiful artwork that is contained within these guides. So you stuck around this long, huh? Well, then you must really love Starfox. Remember earlier when I said I was upset that the fact that Andros is the bad guy was never mentioned in the entire game, and that the game guide seems to mention it at the beginning? Well, you're never gonna guess what deleted scene I found. Get a listen to this.
Of course I remember. General Pepper was afraid that the strange spaceships sighted above Dinosaur Planet were linked to Andros.
This was cut because every scene that made sense had to be cut. God damn it, Nintendo.